Welcome to the Galaxy Book 4 Pro. It truly is an ultrabook on steroids, featuring the new Intel Core Ultra goodness, a beautiful 120Hz high DPI AMOLED panel, a strong aluminium clamshell body to make this an incredible laptop for creators and general users alike. Hi, this is David at Mash IT, and tonight we'll be doing a full review on the new Galaxy Book 4 Pro here in either a traditional clamshell laptop or they do a 360-degree hinge version. The Book 4 Pro has the new Intel Core Ultra CPUs, which have allowed Samsung to create an incredibly slim and light laptop, not unlike a MacBook Air, but retaining the power of a much thicker laptop. Putting up against my 16-inch ThinkPad P1 or a MacBook Pro 16 shows you just how smaller and lighter this laptop is, and it's been much more portable, especially as it only weighs 1.56 kilograms. The 4 Pro has a beautifully milled beak, and I really like the minimal design. It wouldn't look out of place in an office or at home on a coffee table. Looking around the laptop, we get a great range of ports with an HDMI 2.1 and 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports and a status LED on the left and a micro SD card, a USB-A and a headset jack on the right. And given how thin this laptop is, that's pretty good, but I would have preferred a full-size SD card instead of the micro SD. Opening up the laptop is pretty easy thanks to the cutout at the actual base of the screen, and the screen tilts back up to high, making it feel like a really premium experience. The palm rest is all aluminium, so although it's comfortable to put your wrists on, the front edge is a little sharp. Now the 16-inch model has a keyboard with a number pad, and the keys have very little travel, but it's still typing is comfortable. It feels very much like a MacBook. And at the top right, we have a power button that has a built-in fingerprint reader, which works flawlessly, logging you in incredibly quickly. Now there's no speakers on the top deck, but we do have an AKG 4-speaker system in this laptop, and they sound like this. Speaker test of the Galaxy Book 4 Pro, starting at 50% volume. Now 80%. For a laptop so slim, that's actually pretty impressive. They get very loud, and yeah, the bass and the treble aren't as good as maybe the MacBook Pro 16, but certainly very clear, and I'd certainly listen to a bit of light music on it. Moving up to the screen, and we have this beautiful 120Hz 2880 by 1800 AMOLED panel. This is a bright and vivid panel that has HDR or multiple SDR color profiles, and it's incredibly smooth at 120Hz, making it one of my favorite laptop screens that I've ever used. The screen also has an effective anti-glare coating, which minimises the glare and reflections, which is genuinely useful if you're using this glossy display in a very bright environment. Now above the screen we have the webcam and the microphones, and they look and sound like this. This is a test of the webcam. Now unfortunately there is no Windows Hello facial recognition, but because the fingerprint reader is so efficient logging you in, this hasn't been a problem for me at all. Now specs wise, we've got the new Core Ultra 7 155H CPU. This is the new range of efficient, powerful CPUs with 6 performance cores and 10 efficiency cores. Now we can see straight away when we're looking at the CPU testing in Cinebench R23 and R24, we're getting incredible scores that keep up with last year's 13700H that I had in my much larger ThinkPad P1 workstation. Now Geekbench 6 is a shorter benchmark that is great for seeing how laptops perform in boosts and quick burst modes, and it almost keeps up with the P1's 13700H here as well. Moving on to the GPU, and we get the new Intel Arc graphics, and these are a big step up from the previous Iris integrated graphics that we've been using for the last few years. Now in 3D benchmarks like Geekbench 6, TimeSpy and Firestrike, I'm seeing at least double the performance over the previous Iris generation graphics. Now this is performance similar to the Ryzen 780M integrated graphics that we've absolutely loved in all the handhelds and laptops from last year. And that does mean you can be playing some lightweight games on this laptop if that floats your boat. Now it will also excel at Photoshop, some lighter Blender and 3D projects, and you can even do a bit of light video editing here. But I wouldn't want to be doing my 4K multi-stream edits that we do for the videos on this channel on integrated graphics ever. Now all of this is powered by a CPU consuming only 60 watts on boost and a 35 watt long-term load. Now this is really impressive when you consider the 13700H needs double the power to achieve the same scores. And that shows you the gains in efficiency that Intel have made with this generation of CPUs. And it also allows for a slim and powerful laptop like this to be a possibility, and Samsung have done a really great job here. And the good news is, it didn't get overly hot in my long-term gaming and CPU testing. The keyboard did get warm in the middle, but it was nothing too uncomfortable to use, and you still happily type when heavily using this system. And as expected, when under load, the fans did ramp up to about 46 decibels in performance mode, but fortunately it was consistent and there was no whine or like the fans ramping up and down, and it sounded nothing like a gaming laptop. Now the laptop has power profiles that can be controlled within the Samsung Settings app, and there were a number of profiles such as performance, balanced, quiet and silence. But in all honesty, there was so little difference in performance between the profiles, I just left it in the balance mode for the majority of the testing. Now moving over to the battery life, and this is something that has been pretty impressive with this new range of CPUs. Now considering this is an OLED 120Hz screen, we made sure to turn it down to 60Hz for the actual battery testing. Now this consisted of our usual test of streaming YouTube over Wi-Fi at 200 nits of brightness, and this gave us a good result of 8 hours and 23 minutes. Now this is not a bad result at all, but I was hoping for even more with this new CPU after all of Intel's hypes. Especially as Intel's been banging on about the 2 new low power efficiency cores to go with the other 8 efficiency cores and 6 performance cores. But as always, performance on battery was absolutely excellent, which is usually the case with Intel. Our Geekbench scores on battery were just a few percent slower than they were on mains. And you'd be hard pressed to actually notice the difference if you're running it on battery. And the fact that it uses a USB-C port for charging the laptop means that not only do we have an incredibly compact charger that will easily slip in your bag, but you can use any other USB-C charger at 65 watts and above. Plus, it can plug straight into my 4K display, which has a USB-C pass-through with 90 watt power delivery. This will then fully run this laptop as a one cable solution with my keyboard and mouse plugged into the actual monitor, making it very convenient to dock and undock when I'm working at my desk. So who is this laptop for? This is a traditional clamshell laptop with a large 16-inch screen, but you could choose the 14-inch if mobility is your priority. But with the efficient performance you get, or with this new CPU, you can create such a slim and light 16-inch laptop that it's perfect for writers, content creators, content consumers, or anyone who values having this absolutely amazing screen. It's got a good keyboard, it's slim enough to easily carry it around all day, yet it's still powerful enough to power through all the demanding work tasks. Now yes, you're not going to be playing AAA gaming at high FPS on this laptop, and I wouldn't be running my heavy duty video editing on this laptop either, but then it clearly isn't designed for that, and neither is say a MacBook Air. But this will excel for general use and even for light gamings and watching movies on this glorious screen. And I can't stress just how absolutely beautiful this screen is, and the fact that it's now 120Hz really is the icing on the cake. Now the battery life is an area that I really wish Intel would improve just a little bit more. I would love to see over 10 hours on these type of notebooks. Now on a MacBook you can see anywhere from 12 to 15 hours on a lot of their laptops now, so this is somewhere that Intel really needs to spend more time researching. But overall, this is such an amazing solid package with a good array of ports and this screen, and light enough to take it everywhere with you. That is if you can swallow the price. You can be really happy with this laptop. And lastly, thank you for watching.